Do you know what Paul did instead of quitting? Because he could have quit a million times. He kept showing up. Now, I heard this phrase the other day, and it kept sticking in my mind. And when Andy read this, and we read it in class the other day, I kept thinking about that phrase, keep showing up. When Paul got thrown in jail, when he got out, what did he do the next day? He showed up and began to preach again. When Paul got beaten, what did he do the next day? He showed up and kept preaching. He got shipwrecked. He swam, got right back on the boat, got shipwrecked again, swam, got on the boat a third time. He didn't quit. He kept showing up. And that phrase keeps hitting me, especially when we think about this Christmas season. Jesus shows up. And that's what we celebrate. So the question I want you to wrestle with a little bit is, do you show up? And I'm talking about in your relationship with Jesus. Do you show up when it gets hard? Do you show up to pray when you don't feel like it? Do you show up to your faith when people don't take it very seriously? When you don't take it very seriously? Do you show up when your friends ignore you? Do you show up reading the Bible when it seems boring? Or would you rather just scroll endlessly on TikTok? Do you show up for Jesus in any way like he shows up for you? I don't know where on this planet we discovered that the Christian life should be easy. Because it's not. Life isn't easy, but we want it to be. We love ease. But ease does not lead to success in anything. It's about the struggle. So what do you do when things get hard? What do you do when life gets difficult? Do you quit? Do you give up? Or do you numb all those feelings and then scroll endlessly on whatever you want to do? On TikTok or just numb pain. You cannot do that. You need to fight. You need to train. You need to wrestle. We quit too easily when things get hard. What do you do when things get hard? Paul says also, to be renewed, to change, it starts in here, your mind. So I want to start, if I had like all the money in the world, instead of starting a gym to work out and bench press, that'd be this actually. I want a gym for the mind. So come to my gym, because we're going to work on mental toughness. So come into my gym. Here's what you do in my gym. If you're actually working out, instead of just doing 9 reps, do 10. In the morning, instead of scrolling on your phone, journal. Choose to fight and wrestle for an A instead of being okay with the B. Choose the risk of friendship when you say, I'm not going to let them copy my paper. Choose to sit in silence, because maybe then will you understand and hear God. Choose to pray 5 seconds longer this week than last week. Choose to create something when it's way easier to consume something. Choose to ask a question in class when nothing more freaks you out. Choose not to procrastinate. Choose to ask if you could sit with a different lunch table. Prove to yourself in 1,000 tiny ways that you have enough guts to get in the ring of battle and fight. That's the mental gym. And it's hard and it's scary. But here's the thing, Jesus is in the battle with you. That's what we celebrate at Christmas. He showed up. He's always with you. He usually doesn't pull you out of that mess. He usually doesn't. But he's in it with you. And that's the cool part. To know Jesus is to know suffering. Difficult struggles is where you grow. And you don't grow to the end of it, and it doesn't happen quickly, but it takes small mental toughness day by day, and it's hard. And you put yourself out there, and sometimes you fail, but every day it gets a little stronger. So it's time to show up when things get hard. A life worthy of the gospel is someone who lives a grateful life for what Jesus did. Live a life of gratitude. Show how thankful you are for what he did. And don't just say the words. A lot of you are very, very good at saying words. You can say thank you even though you're not grateful. Are you grateful for what Jesus did? Are you grateful he showed up? And he continues to show up. And he always will show up. No matter what you do, once you're his kid, he's always showing up. He's incredibly consistent. When I think of showing up, Jesus, I said, he could have saved us from heaven. He could have sat there and been like, boom, you're saved. No, he didn't. He became one of us. He showed up. And he always will. He did it because he loves you. And that's what the season's about. So it's time you show up. It's time we're consistent. It's time we work hard, even when it's difficult. That's what Paul did. That's what Jesus does. He never quits. We need to start taking on and live a grateful life and emulating the gospel in that way.